Today I'm going to do story time with you guys, and today is kind of a ghost story. It's not really a scary ghost story. I need to stop doing that. It's not really a scary ghost story. It's just a supernatural experience that I went through about my junior year of high school, and it was quite scary. Not gonna lie, it was quite scary. So let's get started in this video. Okay, so let's start off. In junior high school, I made a makeup club with a girl, and then all this stuff went through with who's going to be president, and I ended up being president of the club, so I was fine with that. And I decided I wanted to do a field trip for my club, and I only had like less than 10 members in my club, and most of them were from theater with me, and I was like, okay. And I just wanted to do a field trip for the club. I knew that one of my teachers that I had for history, does a club to New Orleans every every semester, because for his kids, for his students, they go to New Orleans and they go to the World War II. No, not the World War II. They go to the French quarters. So I went to that teacher and I asked, hey, do you mind if like 10 others like join us? Like you don't have to drop us off anywhere. We just go where you go, and we can walk down to our destination. And the destination was Lush Cosmetics, just because then they started selling their makeup line, and yeah. So that's really what I wanted to go to, and I just thought it was a good experience for us. So he agreed. I had to make up, well, I didn't make up, the teacher who sponsored us made up the permission slips. Unfortunately, half of them couldn't go because they did not have good grades, and I was okay with that at the time. Excuse me. So we're on the bus, we're in New Orleans, we're walking down the French Quarter Street. Well, not the French, I don't think that's what it's called, but like you have the French Quarters. If you just keep walking down the road, just keep going straight down the French Quarters, I think you would be heading, I don't know what way you'd be heading. Honestly, I don't. But the Lush used to be on Decatur, I don't know, I'll put it right here. Something Street, Decatur Street. So basically we would just have to walk, and you would find it. And so we walked, and we got there, and we were having fun, and we were there for about, I don't know, we had a certain time we had to be back at the bus. I forgot what reason for, but there was a certain time we had to be back at the bus. So we spent there, and then we slowly made our way back to the French Quarter where my old history teacher was with his class. And as we did, we stopped off at different places, and you realize a lot of souvenir shops sell the exact same stuff for almost the exact same price. And we had just entered this one shop, and it was very, like, as soon as I walked in, I kind of got a headache, and I was like, this feels weird. So I'm walking around, and this headache just put me in the worst mood all of a sudden. I didn't know what was going on. We were in there, and it put me in the worst mood. I hated it. And I think this was before we had lunch. So I walked in there, got a headache, was in the worst mood, and I look over, and one of the girls who was on the field trip with us, she's just looking directly at me in this weird way, and I'm like, what? And I didn't mean to be rude, but that headache just put me in a mysteriously bad mood, and usually headaches don't do that instantly. So I'm looking around, and I'm looking at some keychain voodoo dolls, and I started to get tunnel vision for a second, and I was like, so I had to look away and kind of like shake my head, and I just felt really dizzy, and I didn't know what was going on. I mean, it could have been because I had to eat, but that's when I started feeling strange, was when I walked into that shop. I don't know what store it is. I never like recalled the name or anything, but after I walked in that shop, I just felt extremely weird. So we finally got to this one place that my nanny had wanted me to go to, and it's nothing like it used to be. Apparently, it's really run down. And we had gone up to the food court, and we're all trying to like decide what to eat. No one can decide what the fuck they want to eat. And apparently it's because they were waiting for me to say what I wanted to eat. And I'm like, no, what do you guys want to eat? But they couldn't seem to get that. So, we leave that building and we make our way back to the French Quarters. And I still just feel a little bit hazy. It got a little bit better. And we sat down at this restaurant that I had eaten at before. And it's really delicious and good. It's very well known. They've had like rappers, like Snoop Dogg has eaten there. And they have pictures with them and stuff. Stop! My dog is literally clawing at me. Stop. And so we're eating and stuff, and then finally we have to go get back on the bus. So we make our way slowly there, looking through the French Quarters. And as we turn around, everybody's like, Amber, there's a pizza place right here. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't notice that. That wasn't on my radar, okay? So we're heading back home. I'm still got a headache, and it gets worse on the bus. And so it can't have anything to being hungry, because I've already eaten and yet I'm on the bus, and so it could still have to do with being traveling wise, but I'm used to it. So I do notice that the girl does look at me every now and then. She looks at me very weird like, and I just never asked her about it. And so I'm home that same day, and I'm in the living room, and my parents left, and I believe my brother was left that day too. And the ceiling light started flickering, and I had a feeling I was not alone. Like, I did not like the feeling at all. And the light started flickering a lot. And they never ended up, at the end of it, they never ended up needing to be changed or anything. They never went out like that same day or the next day. They just flickered that moment profusely for about a good 6 minutes. They kept flickering. And it was the girl, she messaged me on Facebook, and she said, is anything weird happening? And I was really freaked out. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it took me a minute to reply, because I was like, how is she asking me this? And like, what? So I answered back, I was like, my lights are flickering and they won't stop. And sometimes I would be like, please stop. And it would stop for a second and then continue back on. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, yes, I don't like this feeling. I said, I feel like someone's here, and then my lights are flickering and they won't stop. She's like, something followed you home. I was like, what do you mean something followed me home? She's like, from the shop, something followed you home. She's like, did you start feeling any time during the trip, any weird? I said, when we went in that one shop, when I looked at you, I got a really bad headache. And she's like, that's when it clinged on to you. And I was like, what? I was legit freaked out. I was kind of crying a little bit. I was like, what do I do? She's like, I think she said she was a Wiccan, and that she said she was a little bit psychic. So she's like, She's like, I'll see if I can do something. I was like, please, because I am legit scared. So she went silent on Facebook for a little bit. And I'm sitting there, and the lights would stop every now and then, but then start back up. And I was getting really, really scared. The TV was turned off, and I was literally just closing all the doors and staying in a really well-lit room because I was that scared. And finally they stopped. They stopped, and I waited for a good 5 minutes to see if they would start back on. They never started back on, and I was like, but within 2 minutes she had replied back and said, did it stop? And I said, hold on a second, because I didn't want it to be like yeah, and then she leave and it starts back on again. I waited for like 3 more minutes, then I messaged her. I said, yeah, it stopped. What'd you do? She said, the problem is taken care of. Nothing else should happen. And I was like, well, what the fuck was that? And she's like, something clinged onto you when you went in that shop. I said, was it good or bad? She's like, I don't think it was good. And I was like, I was legit scared. I could not believe that happened. And I never told this to my parents because they probably wouldn't believe me, because I watch a lot of horror movies and I do love watching like ghost hunter shows like Ghost Adventures and stuff. But that literally, like, that feeling of being not alone and being played with, like with the lights, that was not funny nor cute. It really scared the fuck out of me. So yeah, that is my little supernatural experience, and I don't want to experience something like that again. So comment down below any scary experiences, whether it's supernatural or not, that you have had occurred to you. Don't forget to follow all of my social media links that will be linked at the end of this video and also down below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Bye!